Welcome back to History in Motion, proudly brought to you by Midas.
Before the break, I asked you a quick question. Who was the last person to win Formula One Grand Prix at Kyalami? It was Alan Prost in 1993, and he was joined on the podium by Ayrton Senna and Mark Landau.
The crowd are waiting for the racing to begin, and the Investchem Formula Fords are gathering in the pre-race area. As always, it promises to be a great race, with Graham Hepburn laying down the gauntlet in qualifying by going fastest by 3/4 of a second.
It's my first time here. I'm really enjoying it. It's an awesome track, so try to keep up with the guys in front of me if I can. Now, I've been a little bit off their pace, but I mean, I'm learning and I'm enjoying it. It's great fun. I can't not say I'm not enjoying it, that's for sure.
Let's take a look at the grid now, and Matej Stradom lines up second behind Hepburn. Ian Schofield is in third with Jonathan Nash ahead of brother Matthew. Jeff Gable sixth with Dean Fenter and Andrew Schofield filling up the fourth row. Ian Hebblethwaite is in 12th. A standing start for the Formula Fords. The lights are out and they're off. Into turn one, and Graham Hepburn is in the lead. Behind them, three abreast, they go into turn one. Ian Hebblethwaite, Sean Hepburn and Dean Fenter. Great racing, and it is Dean Fenter who comes out ahead of Sean Hepburn as they exit the turn. Great iron onboard footage here of Matej Stradom as he follows Schofield onto the back straight. Into the bowl, and there's nothing in it as the cars are still bunched up with no one giving an inch. More great shots from the iron onboard camera of Ben van der Westhuizen. You really can get a sense of the speed that these cars are doing when you're this close to the ground. Down the hill he goes, heading to turn 14. The field seems to have paired off into battles as they make their way onto the start-finish straight. Graham Hepburn in his suburban body shop Ray has pulled a bit of a gap over the trio battling for second place. Ian Schofield's Investchem Miguel leads Stradom, Sage Talon and Matt Nash's Fun Demon. On board now is Stradom as he makes his move on Schofield. Down the inside of Clubhouse and makes it stick. Great move. Schofield is now coming under pressure from Nash. We see brother Jonathan Nash beginning to pile the pressure onto the other brother Matt Nash as they head into turn one. They started next to each other on the grid, and the much anticipated brotherly battle looks like it has begun. Side by side they go, Jonathan taking the inside line and taking the place off Matt. He puts his foot down and tries to make some space between him and his brother as they head onto the back straight. Van der Westhuizen having a look down the inside of Ian Schofield as they head into West Bank. Great move from Van der Westhuizen as he slides down the inside and accelerates down the mine shaft, and they passed a slow-traveling Jeff Gable. A failed distributor is the cause of his woes. Entering the ball behind them, Andres Petru in his Investchem Reynard has Dean Fenter on his tail. Jeff Gable makes his way slowly into the bowl and realizes his race is going no further and moves his car out of danger before retiring. The battle for second rages on. Ian Schofield maintains the pressure on Matej Stradom, keeping his wing mirrors full of the blue Investchem Miguel. Stradom is holding him off well, but all the battling between the two of them means that Graham Hepburn is able to pull off a hefty lead. Into the final bend, and Graham Hepburn heads to the start-finish line to take a relatively easy win. Matej Stradom holds on to take second place, only 0.8 of a second ahead of Ian Schofield. The pair had a fantastic race. Looking at the results then, and Jonathan Nash came home in fourth place, also just 0.8 of a second ahead of Matthew. Ben van der Westhuizen edged out Andrew Schofield by 0.6 of a second to claim sixth place.
We were a little unsure of what we should be doing, but I said to Matt, do we race, do we formation fly? He said, we race. So we raced. I must say, I thought that they were all going to run away, so I think my new tyres are working better than I'd planned. So I'm quite chuffed about that, but yeah, no, it's...
I was hoping to run away, but I didn't.
Race 2, and they accelerate off the start line. Hepburn up front. Contact! Stratum is spinning. Matt Nash has nowhere to go but over him. Oh my word! Car's taking evasive action in the background to avoid contact. It's crazy and most certainly a red flag. Ian Schofield and Matt Nash are parked across the track with quite a bit of bodywork missing from Stratum's car. It was a huge accident. We have a look at the incident from Stratum's perspective. You see him getting tapped around and then facing into the accelerating field. Matt Nash nowhere to go but over. Scary stuff. Ben van der Westhuizen started further back on the grid, and you can see Schofield making contact with the back of Stratum's car, which spins him around.
All of a sudden the car just spun around. I think somebody touched me, and there was just all this the swarm of cars coming towards me, and Matthew went right over me, so I hope he's okay. Well, I hope everybody's okay. I don't know how many cars were involved, but luckily I'm okay at least. So yeah, that's it.
Scof and Joe got together, sort of getting off the start there, and Scof must have obviously hit Matthijs, and Matthijs came screaming back across in front of me, so I just had nowhere to go. I didn't even actually see him coming. I just drove straight over his head. Yeah, no, that was the biggest accident I've ever had, by quite a long way. So fortunately everyone's okay. Cars are very safe, so that's the most important thing. The cars we can fix.
The debris is cleared and the cars line up once more for the start. The lights go out and they're off without incident this time. Ben van der Westhuizen gets a fantastic start from 6th on the grid. He blasts through and grabs onto the tailpipe of Hepburn to take second place going into turn 1. Dean Venter in the blue and yellow Swift is just behind Alan Mayer in his orange and black Von Diemen. In the lead, Hepburn is pulling away, and Jonathan Nash makes a move down the inside of Van der Westhuizen and goes into second place. On board now with the eye on camera, and we see Van der Westhuizen trying to stay with Nash, and he heads down the back straight. Into Sunset they go, and at the back of the field after his DNF in race 1, Jeff Gable started at the back of the grid and will be trying to work his way up the order, and he has a look down the inside of Brian Esterhazen, but isn't close enough to make it work. Esterhazen on the outside coming through Clubhouse, defends his line as they head towards the S's and keeps his position ahead of Gable. Coming into turn 3, and Gable is a man on a mission as he accelerates down the inside of Ian Hebblethwaite and heads after Dean Venter, who goes wide on the exit of 4 and seems to start a trend as Gable and Hebblethwaite follow suit. Down the back straight, and Esterhazen pulls out to have a look down the inside of Gable, but isn't close enough. Venter heads through Sunset and up to Clubhouse. Awesome reflections on the track in Sunset, clearly illustrating how the corner got its name. Ian Schofield has had a spin. Spinning himself back round, he rejoins the track behind Alan Mayer, pointing in the right direction. This, however, has cost him quite a few positions. Coming into the bowl, Schofield passes Mayer and sets about the onerous task of making up his lost places. Ben van der Westhuizen is pushing Jonathan Nash hard, and coming into turn 1, he takes the inside line and makes the pass back up into second place. Nash is not going to take this lying down though, and he is right behind Van der Westhuizen as they head into 4. Side by side they enter the back straight with barely an inch between them. Into Sunset, and Van der Westhuizen is coming under tremendous pressure from Nash. On the run up to Clubhouse, Nash makes his move and he retakes second place. Fantastic battle between these two drivers. On board the Royale RP21 of Van der Westhuizen as they climb up to Westbank, and Nash seems to be putting some distance between himself and Van der Westhuizen. Into Westbank, and Andrew Schofield has just passed Andreas Petru, with Dean Venter hoping to do the same down the inside as they exit Westbank, but Petru holds firm and keeps the position ahead of Venter. Graham Hepburn crosses the line to take his second victory of the day. Great driving from him. Into the final bend, and it's Ben van der Westhuizen just managing to keep it ahead of Andrew Schofield as they head down the start-finish straight to take the checkered flag. Confirmation of the results, and Graham Hepburn took a double victory on the day with Jonathan Nash finishing second. Ben van der Westhuizen in third, just 0.6 of a second ahead of Andrew Schofield. Andres Petru beat Dean Venter to fifth by half a second. The winners collect their spoils.
The second race I had a terrible start, but with the red flag gave me a second go, and we had another bit of a battle. I was slowly maybe catching a little bit towards the end, maybe hoping for a couple more laps, but yeah, unfortunately I couldn't quite catch him in the end.
My car is super off the line, and both heats and both three starts we actually had, we had a very good start, and that helped a lot. It helped me to miss the accident in the first place, and I got a bit of a lead, but at the end they were pushing me very hard.
Coming up after the break on the Midas Historic Tour, we have the 1 hour endurance race.